At Healthcare Partners Medical Group, our mission is to provide the highest quality of healthcare to each and every patient. With 5 locations in Pahrump, we are local doctors you know and trust. We want to thank you for choosing us. Quality care starts here.
Pahrump Nugget is giving away a laptop every day in the month of July at 8 p.m. Earn 3 times the entries on Sundays. Ask about our bingo specials, lower buy-ins, higher payouts, and free gifts. Where their fun never stops, the Pahrump Nugget Hotel and Casino.
News 46 is brought to you by Healthcare Partners. News is brought to you in part by One Nevada Credit Union, where right now you can refinance your auto loan with rates as low as 2.98% and no payments for 90 days for qualified members. Call us today for details. News is also brought to you by the St. Therese Mission, a future venue for cultural and environmental events near Pahrump. Get involved. Visit us at sttheresemission.com or call 702-507-4172. News is also brought to you by Hope Counseling Services, where we specialize in behavioral health, inspiring hope for a brighter tomorrow. Call 775-727-0101 for more information.
Tonight on News 46, a Colorado shooting suspect appears in court.
Will the town lose some paramedic firefighters?
And Pahrump celebrates turning the big 5-0. News 46 starts now.
You're watching KPVM News 46 with Zach Fuentes and Monique Murphy. Local coverage from Deanna O'Donnell. News 46. Local coverage you can count on.
And good evening. It's Monday, July 23rd, 2012. I'm Zach Fuentes.
And I'm Monique Murphy for News 46. The suspect in the Aurora Theater shooting that occurred early Friday morning made his initial court appearance this morning in Colorado. 24-year-old James Holmes is accused of killing 12 people and wounding 58 others in one of the worst mass shootings in U.S. history.
Holmes appeared before a judge for what's being called a, quote, initial advisement decision on official charges and whether to pursue the death penalty is expected to come later. It's the first real look the public has had of the suspect, who's been held in solitary confinement since being taken into custody within minutes of the shooting early Friday morning. Holmes, sporting dyed orange hair and wearing a maroon jumpsuit, is reportedly refusing to cooperate with investigators.
Holmes appeared dazed this morning during his 11-minute court hearing, at times opening his eyes wide and at other times seeming to be falling asleep.
The duty judge has made a preliminary determination of probable cause to believe you committed the offense of first-degree murder, which is a Class 1 felony under Colorado law. Ordinarily, individuals are entitled to bail. Given the nature of the charges, you are currently being held on a no-bond hold. You also have a right to have a jury trial and preliminary hearing to determine whether there's probable cause to believe that you're the person that committed the offense.
The district attorney may be asking for the death penalty in this case. He's being held on suspicion of first-degree murder, and he could also face additional counts of aggravated assault and weapons violations. Authorities say the former graduate student is refusing to cooperate, and it could take months to learn what prompted the horrific attack on moviegoers at the midnight screening of the latest Batman film. During the attack, Holmes allegedly set off gas canisters and used a semi-automatic rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol to open fire. Police have said Holmes began buying guns at Denver area stores nearly 2 months before the shooting, and that he received at least 50 packages in 4 months at his home and school. He recently purchased 6,000 rounds of ammunition over the internet. And once again, James Holmes will be back in court next Monday, July 30th, for the official charges. This is Deanna O'Donnell for News 46.
The involvement of a second suspect in the Colorado shooting has been discounted after police confirmed that another person who was taken in for questioning was only an associate and was not believed to be linked to the shooter, James Holmes.
A lot more developing with that story.
Yes.
While more than 2 million Capital One credit card customers will get refunds totaling $150 million as part of a settlement reached with federal banking and regulators from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. The bank also must pay $60 million in penalties for deceptive marketing and billing practices. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau's examiners discovered that the bank's third-party call center vendors were engaging in deceptive tactics while signing new customers up for additional products called add-ons. The average refund will be less than $100 according to the bank. Refunds will either be made in the form of statement credits or checks mailed directly to Capital One customers by the end of the year. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is also investigating other credit card issuers for similar practices but declined to name which lenders are involved.
Wow. Well, keep it here, folks, because we have more news after this break.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Children's Dentistry of Pahrump, specializing in sedation dentistry, now accepting adult patients. Call now for free IV sedation with dental implant, 751-2184.
Welcome back. On tomorrow night's Town Board agenda is an item that calls for the reduction in force for the town of Pahrump firefighters. The Pahrump Valley Firefighters International Association Local 4068 Union has issued a press release, and they are challenging the claim of a financial crisis with the town budget, necessitating the proposal to conduct layoffs of fire personnel. Now, during the budget process, they say the union was never contacted to address any issue on wages. The last wage negotiation currently in effect is part of the 2-year contract approved by the town board in 2011, and under standard financial processes should have been included in calculating the town's budget for fiscal year 2012. Firefighters have agreed to wage concessions in the last 3 negotiated contracts, and Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue since 2010 has suffered a forced reduction in the staffing of 2 fire personnel positions. They add in their statement that the town manager needs to do what's right for the citizens of Pahrump, own up to the false information he is disclosing to the Pahrump News, and stop making poor decisions surrounding the Pahrump Valley Fire Rescue and local firefighters. We spoke to town manager Bill Kohlbarger for his response.
Well, first of all, I believe he states in his email that the firefighters have agreed to wage concessions in the last 3 negotiated contracts. That's just not true. They've only given up 1 concession, and that was just this fiscal year 12 that just ended June 30th, and that was a 4%, and they didn't give up any pay. They just did not get their 4% step increase. That's the only concession the fire department has given in the 4 years I've been here. Now, I don't know what he means by giving up concessions in the other contracts, because there were no. 2 years ago, fiscal year 11, they got a 9% increase in pay. Fiscal year 10, they got a 10% increase in pay. Now, you can't show me any other department or any other department in the town of Pahrump that got a 19% increase in those 2 years. Matter of fact, he also states in here, to his knowledge, no other town department has experienced or are facing reductions. The reason that is that no other employee or department in the town of Pahrump has gotten a raise for 3 years. 3 years. None. They haven't gotten a cost of living. They haven't gotten a step increase. They have gotten 0 in the way of cost increases or an increase in pay. However, the fire department has gotten 19% in those 3 years. So 19% versus 0. I guess the concession they gave up is they wanted 20. I don't know. You would have to ask Ray. But it's amazing that he's putting out this misinformation. And they also said that they're below average in salaries. Well, in looking at the salaries with overtime, the average salary for a firefighter is just over $80,000 in the town of Pahrump. Matter of fact, we actually have 1 firefighter who's over $189,000. We have 2 firefighters that are over $110,000. We have 9 total firefighters that are making over $90,000 a year. So I guess they're not making enough according to the union, at least the hierarchy of the union.
Is that because of the overtime? Would it help if we had more firefighters and less overtime?
When you put on more firefighters, you still have overtime issues, because what people don't understand is when a firefighter does not show up for work, whether they're on comp, workers' comp, annual leave, or sick leave, we are mandated by the collective bargaining agreement to fill that position. So we could put on 100 firefighters per shift. You're still going to have a ton of overtime because you're still going to have guys taking off time. And nobody seems to understand that. And nobody wants to understand that, especially the IAFF.
They said that they gave up 2 firefighters' positions this last time.
No, they didn't give up any firefighter positions. What they did was a non-line lieutenant training officer, which was frozen, and then one position was taken away by the town board 3 years ago because it was a non-essential position, and that individual was removed from that position, and we decided not to fill it. And the town board voted on that in the town board meeting.
Can we afford to lose more firefighters? We have a lot of volunteers there at the fire department.
Well, you know, the thing here is the union will not allow us to put volunteers in that are very well trained, that work with them every day to fill a spot. They want the money. And as you can see, again, on average, over $80,000 a year these firefighters are making with overtime, and that's working. They only work 10 days a month. They get 20 days a month off. So if they fill in, they do 2 overtime shifts per every 2 weeks. That's 14 days a month they're working, and on average making $80,000 a year. And all we're asking to do is not take the step increase that they were promised or that they were guaranteed in the contract because of the budgets. And
So you're not looking to cut firefighters, you're looking to just not give the step increase.
No, I've asked twice for the union to come to the table. The last time I put in official documentation to the union, and they absolutely refuse. I've been talking with Mr. DeLucchi about it since February, and he's advised, yes, we do need to talk about it, yes, we do need to talk about it, but when it came time to officially talk about it, they didn't want to do it. And again, it's just a 4% step. And here's the interesting thing. 7 of the firefighters are already topped out, so they won't be getting it. So this will only affect 20 firefighters. And the people who are making this decision is Raymond DeLucchi. That's it. Nobody else in the fire department has had a vote on this. Nobody else is worrying about this except Mr. DeLucchi. And here's another interesting thing about Mr. DeLucchi. He has been the fire union president for about 3.5 months. And in those 3.5 months, he has helped to file 6 grievances against the town and taken 3 to arbitration. In the prior 4 years, we had a total of 6 grievances filed, and 2 went to arbitration. So he's in no mood and no realm to deal. All he wants to do is try and flex muscles as a new union president, and he's been over having lunch and meetings with the North Las Vegas union president and the Las Vegas union president, and has his head firmly in with them. So we're going to ignore management. We're going to ignore the downturn in the economy. We don't care. Matter of fact, Mr. DeLucchi's comment with me was, we've given enough. We need our raises.
And we are awaiting Union President Ray DeLucchi's response to Mr. Kohlbarger's interview.
Everyone in town was invited to the first ever birthday celebration for Pahrump, which celebrated its 50th last Wednesday. The party was held at Petrick Park this Saturday with entertainment, free swimming, and lots of games.
July 18th, 1962 is when Pahrump became a town. We found out about the 50th birthday quickly approaching by chance. Vicki Parker, the town board chair, came across some paperwork that gave the date, and they put together a party very quickly here at Petrick Park in the Bob Roode Community Center, in which the whole town was invited. We're going to speak to Vicki Parker.
Awesome, 50 years. It's been a marvelous birthday party. We've had a lot of people here. They've had a lot of fun.
We got the pool for free all day long and slides out there. We even had a special song written for Pahrump today.
Yes, we did. Leroy Guyan wrote a special song in English and in Sioux and performed it in the community center in honor of the 50th birthday of Pahrump.
Wow, wonderful. So this birthday party was a little bit of some planning, but I know it was kind of last minute. But 1,000 hot dogs, 1,000 cupcakes, and lots of fun and games.
The cupcakes were sponsored by the town of Pahrump, but the hot dogs were from the Holiday Task Force and the beans from CCA. So it's been a community effort.
So what are you hearing from the townspeople about this party?
Everybody had a good time.
And will we be doing this every year?
Probably just on special years because money's tight these days and there's a lot of staff work that goes into this.
Anything you would like to say to the citizens out there?
Thank you for making Pahrump what it is the past 50 years, and stay with us, so we'll have an awesome town 50 years from now.
And once again, happy 50th birthday, Pahrump. This is Deanna O'Donnell for News 46.
And happy birthday from us here at KPVM to Pahrump. We're going to have more local news after the break, so please keep it here.